Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Harbin, a Korean dramatic thriller from 2024 that stars Hyun. In 1909, Ahn Jung-geun, played by Hyun, a resistance fighter opposing Korea's subjugation by Japan, struggles across the Tumen River. Meanwhile, his fellow resistance fighters question his whereabouts and loyalty. Ahn returns, but has his leadership challenged because most of the fighters under him had died in a recent successful attack by the Japanese. Before that tragic event, Ahn had refused to commit war crimes by executing prisoners of war, including Japanese officer Tatsuo Mori, and freed them. Mori then tracked down Ahn's group and slaughtered them. So that's the thanks you get for letting a dude go, basically. So Ahn decides that he needs to redeem himself by assassinating Ito Hirobumi, the Prime Minister of Japan. So Hyunbin's decision to disarm and release the prisoners of war is a controversial one. You could tell that many of his comrades are not happy about that decision at all, and they even attempt to convince him of potential negative consequences of this decision, including the chance that these same guys are going to regroup and then attack them again. And this is unfortunately what happens, motivating our protagonist to redeem himself, right? Now, much of the film shows Bin's character and his small band of comrades as he travels and tries to track the Prime Minister's locations and anticipated destinations. They have to accumulate some resources, like explosives and other stuff, and they occasionally run into enemies that they must evade them. We also get a few scenes with the Prime Minister who makes some decisions while considering his own safety since he hears about this possible assassination attempt on his own life. Now, there is a lot of dialogue in this movie. Lots of secret meetings and conversations between allies about this main conflict, as well as observations of the people who are living during the time period. It does get a bit dry at times, and the overall story feels conventional. We've seen plots like this a lot. None of the individual characters really stand out, nor do they have much complexity. Korean movies seem to be really falling into this flaw, I guess you could say, more often nowadays. They just lack a certain dynamic to keep things vibrant and interesting. But still, Harbin is competently made and acted. All of the performances are good. The visuals do have some flair in this. The opening shot in particular is very striking. It's this wide shot of an icy blue river that is frozen over. It's a really cool shot. You get some nice snowy landscapes as well. The entire film basically takes place in the wintertime. And that always gets brownie points for me. I like films that are shot during that season. Also, the train scenes are very nicely shot as well. The interiors of the trains are really cool. This movie definitely has some style to it. Now, in terms of thrills, there's a gritty battle scene near the beginning involving old school guns, knives, and even some dynamite. It's not adrenaline-inducing because it relies instead on being realistic, or more realistic than you would typically see in a movie. And it does get bloody and violent as well. That's a pretty good scene right there to start the film. And then there are a few escape scenes that are decent, but the actual assassination attempt at the end of the movie is very simplistic and disappointing. I know they were going for realism in this, and even then you could probably criticize it for its lack of realism, but they should have added something else to it or extended the scene, created a little bit more suspense. It's just a little bit too basic, given this film was building completely up to it. In terms of entertainment value, I think Harbin is somewhat similar to Faceless, the recent Japanese movie that I reviewed just a few days ago. The premise is realized just well enough to be watchable, but it's not especially satisfying nor memorable of a film. The professional critics seem to like this one more than I do, so maybe I'll be in the minority on this one, but it does feel a little bit lethargic at times. Again, just like Faceless, this is not a movie that I would strongly recommend, but the premise and the acting and some of the individual qualities elevates it to being a watchable, pretty good movie. And it's available streaming on Amazon. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.